You're tuned in to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show with your host, myself, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. I am a multi-million-dollar business developer. I have developed business and real estate around the world, and I want to share with you my mental strategies, my technical strategies, and how I made it in the world of business. So I don't teach theory. I tell you about my life and introduce you to people who can also share with you what they've done to become successful. This is a practical show. This ain't a theory show. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum, family, and peace and blessings. Welcome to the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. I'm excited to talk to you tonight with my brother from historically Black Wall Street. Some of y'all saying, well, what is that? I don't know what that is, but you'll see. You'll see in a few minutes. So stay tuned. Sit back. Got a few commercials to show you. Have a little bit to talk to you about, and then we'll bring on my brother. Don't go anywhere.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Our prisons, the largest prison system in the world, are filled with those who are the victims of poverty. The women who are disenfranchised, young teenage mothers, are victims of poverty. Poverty is knocking at our door all day long. It sits in the mirror for us to look in every morning. When we look at what's going on with the schools in this country, we build more prisons than we build schools. Poverty is in our face all day long. Why is everybody behaving all of a sudden like this is some great revelation? We are angry, we're upset, we look around for some comfort, and we don't find any. Well, we have to look to ourselves, because I think the last frontier of truth and hope in this country are the people themselves.
belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said, it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We have Him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
Once again, assalamu alaikum and peace and blessings, family. Welcome. You are tuned into the Mind of an Entrepreneur show, and I am your host, Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. You know what we do on this show. We help emerging new market leaders and industry disruptors with free game and tools to help them navigate the world of business. I know you all saw the video. Rest in peace to our brother Harry Belafonte. Thank you to Brother Roland Martin for his wonderful tribute show that is just ending now. And thank you for inviting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan there so that he can share his memories and how his life was blessed and impacted by his brother, Harry Belafonte. So thank you so much. So tonight we're talking about our Black economy. I got my brother Chukwuma Garvey on. We're going to be talking about his project, his business, historically Black Wall Street. But you know what? Before we bring brother on, let me set this up a little bit, because a lot of us are confused about why so many of us are becoming activists about Black businesses and about us recognizing our true power. And many people have asked me, like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to talk Saturday on the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talk about the chronic pain of the Black economy. We're going to break that down a little bit. But I was reading this report that I got this past weekend at the State of the Black World Conference. I was blessed to be a presenter and on 2 panels and to participate in an all-day discussion and presentation. And Reverend Dennis Dillon, who publishes this book called The Report, there's an interesting statistic in here that I want to share with you before I bring my brother on, because I think sometimes we disrespect the whole concept of buy Black Muslim, Black marketplaces. And as soon as you all hear this, somehow in our mind, we don't get it. But I want to read this statistic, and I'm going to make a comment before I bring my brother on. So this particular page is on page 8 of the report by Reverend Dillon, published by Reverend Dillon, Disparities in Wealth by Race and Ethnicity. And then this particular statistic is percentage of population with business ownership. And it's only talking about businesses with employees. Okay, so percentage of population with business ownership. White people, among the white race, 2.7% of them have businesses with employees. Among Hispanics, 3.9% have businesses with employees. Among Black people, 0.28, that's less than 1% of us, less than 0.5% of us have businesses with employees. And guess what? Among the Asian population, 28.3% of the Asians in the population in the United States have businesses with employees. They are now out earning white people. And we'll talk about those statistics, but I want to say this because I think what happens for us, we get so comfortable and it becomes a challenge for us to do for self. It becomes a challenge for us to support somebody Black because we may have to drive a little bit further. Maybe the service ain't quite what we want it to be. And instead of giving that Black business a chance, we shut one another down. We cannot afford, at 0.28% of us with businesses that have employees, we cannot afford to be shutting each other down. We can't even afford to ignore each other. Because let me tell you something. I'm going to say this before I'm not going to get on my soapbox about this because y'all know how I feel about it. But let me say this. And this is probably, and I don't mean this to be offensive to anybody. If you know the history of Asians in this country and how traditionally they were shut out of mainstream businesses, many of them went to our communities, Black communities, urban communities, opened up businesses because they couldn't open up restaurants in white communities. They really couldn't. At one point, they couldn't even open up nail shops and some of the other businesses that they're popularly known for in white communities. So what did they do? They came to Black communities. They didn't always treat us well. Oftentimes the food was bad for us, contributing to all of our healthcare issues. But probably the best thing and the worst thing that could have happened to them was them being shut out of this mainstream economy. And in just a few decades, they have superseded the architects of this economy. Why? Because they didn't have a choice but to turn to themselves. They were forced to do for self. Now, I'm not supporting how badly they've treated us and how poorly they've introduced goods and services into our community and what they've done to us as they've climbed up the ladder. But what I am saying is that probably the best and worst thing that happened to them was for them to be shut out, because now 28% of all Asians in the United States, 28% of them have businesses with employees, while 0.28% of us. So I'm going to bring my brother Chukwuma on, and we're going to talk about his venture, Historically Black Wall Street. Welcome to you all in the chat. Welcome to Sister Aletha, Sister Sandra. I know a lot of us we're over on the Roland Martin show, watching The Minister and Father Flager. And you know what? Don't worry about this. We can always, go over there and get that wisdom. So I know that it's that show is wrapped up, and so a lot of people are going to be coming over. All praises due to Allah. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Brother Chukwuma, how are you?
Faith and well, all is well. Even more blessed than previously thought to be here with you today. Yes, sir.
How beautiful. All praises due to Allah. When you stood up during our seminar at the State of the Black World, and you made this powerful announcement. You said, look, I'm 25 years old. You started talking about some of the work that you were doing. And I was like, let me see what I can do to support and uplift this brother, because that's, I believe, what our goal should be, is always reaching out, uplifting, and supporting one another. And you heard me give those statistics about the Asian community and how at one point they were shut out of mainstream business, and now they've become a mainstream business. They have the highest salaries in the United States. They have more businesses in the United States. They out earn white people and all other races here in the United States. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the case around the world. Now, I'm not so happy with how they've treated us. I think it's outrageous, but I think we can all do our part. And so I want to do my part today. I want to talk about your venture, but I first want to hear about you. So I saw your name, Chukwuma Garvey Ukwu. You know, you got to explain that.
Oh, yes, ma'am. My name is Chukwuma Garvey Ukwu. Chukwuma means God knows me. It is an Igbo name given to me by my mother, who is actually an American who married a Nigerian man, originally a Biafran man, before the Biafran War. When my father was young, he was in Enugu State, the village of Umavulu, and came to this country and studied at Old Westbury here in New York, where they met, eventually fell in love, and that's where I came into the picture. My mother was an avid studier and reader and scholar in and of itself, so she bestowed the name Garvey upon me with the hope and vision that one day I would be able to just walk in the path set forth by such a great man.
That's beautiful. That beautiful, beautiful story. I love that. I kind of figured that. I knew it was an Igbo name, and I said, "Oh, his parents." Respect and much honor and respect to Marcus Garvey. Did you get to meet his son this past weekend?
I did. As a matter of fact, I met him in the panel discussion that you led.
Okay.
You all pointed him out, and he was sitting so humbly
He
and
was so
quietly. But I was given the opportunity to speak with him at the end of the panel discussion. He was a breath of fresh air, and it was a memory I'll hold on to forever.
just beautiful energy, right? I thought that I was really fortunate and grateful in our panel, because I felt like the energy was so powerful in terms of people just reaching out and supporting one another in business. And like I said, you stood up and started talking about historically Black Wall Street. I said, I got to learn all about that, and I want to share that with our family here on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. So tell us, well, before you do that, give me a little bit about your background and how you started historically Black Wall Street.
Okay. I was born in a small town, 1 square mile, Roosevelt, Long Island. Many people don't know Roosevelt when I first mention it, but when I mention the people that came through Roosevelt, it immediately comes to mind, and that's Public Enemy, Eddie Murphy, uh, Dr. Julius Irving, Howard Stern, so many individuals that went on to impact this
Powerhouses,
world.
right?
Yeah, they came straight through Roosevelt. So Roosevelt, it has been in my blood. In high school, I was a scholar athlete, captain of the football team, and it was there that I actually went on to start my first. Um, it wasn't an entrepreneurial venture; it was actually a grassroots organization called the Future Rough Riders of America, and that
Okay.
was an organization that was strictly uh, devoted to helping aid in the transition of education from every level. We wanted to help elementary schoolers that were going into middle school, and we wanted to help middle schoolers that were going into high school, and
Okay.
high schoolers getting to college. So that was my first venture in 2015, and we did some amazing things. We participated in the water drive for Flint, Michigan, and we worked with the entire community to put together a toy drive for the United Cerebral Palsy Center. So I really got organized in those early years. I then went on to study business at the Earl G. Graves School of Business at Morgan State University. And it was there that I really started my first entrepreneurial venture. And that was my clothing brand, and goes by the name of Vision, which is actually an acronym that stands for Vivid, Informative System, Inspiring Our Nation, BISION. So that was my first pursuit of trying to make a little bit of money. I brought it on campus, set up in one of the rooms, started making the clothes, and we went off from there. 2 years later, I saw a need for those who were looking to start their own businesses. I knew that as a business student in the illustrious Earl G. Graves School of Business, I had an access to a wealth of knowledge, not only the knowledge, but the experience of people who have gone on to become successful in their own field. So I said, how could we use this knowledge? How could we use this experience to be able to help our people grow? And that's where historically Black Wall Street was born. We saw there were so many Black Wall Streets that had physical locations, but there was none that I saw at the time that were strictly devoted to helping grow Black business and providing them the tools necessary to do so. So I know I was a little long-winded.
No, you're fine. I have to ask you something though about Earl B. Graves because many people don't know who he is. Can you tell the audience who Mr. Graves is?
It would be an honor. Mr. Earl Gilbert Graves Sr. was the founder of Black Enterprise magazine. He sat on the board of PepsiCo and was an aide for Robert F. Kennedy. The brother was dynamic. In fact, while he was a student at Morgan State University, his first real entrepreneurial venture was selling flowers during the graduation season. And what the brother did was there was only 2 flower shops in the neighboring communities that served all of the universities, Loyola, University of Maryland, and all of the predominantly white institutions. He went directly to those flower shops and engaged them in a contract that enabled him to be the only person on Morgan's campus with access to fresh and beautiful flowers. So he really cornered the market and left, with a little bit of coin in his pocket from doing so. So the brother was an inspiration on so many levels. Unfortunately, he died in 2020. His family did a wonderful and beautiful memorial tribute last year on the campus of Morgan State University.
That's beautiful. And so the business school there at Morgan State is named after Mr. Graves. Is that correct?
Ma'am. Named after and dedicated to. Yes,
beautiful,
ma'am.
Beautiful. So what is historically Black Wall Street?
Historically Black Wall Street.
Before you start, so I can put this up here, people can have it.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the website, Chukwuma?
Oh, www.hbwallst.com.
I just want to make sure. Okay. Got it. Okay, I'm listening. What is historically Black Wall Street?
All right. So historically Black Wall Street is an organization that is strictly devoted to helping businesses grow. We started off by providing the tech support services that a lot of businesses need, the logo, website. I mean, we have packages that include business cards, business plans. We can help you file your LLC. We do graphic videos, documentary videos, animation. We use the skills of historically Black students, alumni, and people connected within the Black college space that have expertise to be able to provide those services to businesses that need them. So long story short, if your business needs something, we try to connect you with the person that will best help complete that task and do so efficiently.
So Brother Chukwuma, are these businesses on campus or do you serve the broader community?
Oh, we use the students on campus. We use the alumni from these campuses to service the broader African American community of Black entrepreneurs and churches. We did a virtual vacation Bible school in 2020 because of the pandemic. We try to help provide solutions. We are very solution based. With the pandemic, we learned that there are a lot of organizations that really don't even know what their next step should be. And a lot of times in business, it's up to someone who has studied the market, um, studied the technology available to the business that they have running, and to help them navigate in order to reach that green that we all strive for.
So oftentimes when we as Black people are in business and we hit a snag in our business, a lot of us don't have, individuals in our lives like myself or like you that we can go to and say, hey, what should I do? So are you saying that if I'm a business and I'm in Baltimore or New Jersey or wherever I am, that if I need help, if I need marketing, if I need help setting up an LLC, if I need staffing, I can come to Historically Black Wall Street and you all will help me to answer some of those needs?
Absolutely. It all starts with a consultation. We have services ready and available. We have business packages. We have individual tools being the websites, the graphic
Right.
design packages that come with everything from branded mints so that you can reach your target audience at events that have tables set up. We we search for brothers and sisters who are truly in need of a little bit of help and sometimes a push because we have these amazing ideas. And sometimes in life, we get caught up in the circumstance of the human experience and never get to truly express our creative gifts. So we sometimes, well, not sometimes, we try to take that load off and try to help in any way we can.
You said something key, and it kind of ties into what I said at the opening, and that oftentimes we are so severely critical of our Black businesses. And what I hear you saying is that you all don't just sit back waiting for Black businesses to come to you, you go out and search for them. So if you are shopping or dining with a Black business and you see that they have some shortcomings, are you saying that you all, instead of criticizing them and going, I ain't never going back, I ain't messing with them no more, you would say, hey, maybe I could offer you some services through my organization?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are communities that have grown and continue to be successful that aren't African American, that have certain values, uh, and in those values are, if I can go to someone else and get a better, faster, and cheaper product, but they're
Right.
outside of the community, I'll forego that and work with you. And when you get it wrong, I'll tell you how you got it wrong,
That's
and
right.
we can work together to get it right.
It goes back to what I was saying about the Asians. I think the best and the worst thing that could have happened to them was to be cut out of mainstream society. See,
Mhm.
because when you can't go anywhere else and we're forced to go and do for self, I think you would see us probably outpace the Asians in a very, very short period of time because we would get our behaviors together, right? Because now you realize that I can't just act the way I want to act. I can't just be lazy. I can't just do certain things that maybe I would do if I knew I had a safety net. Now I ain't got no safety net. I'm forced to go and deal with Chukwuma or Sister Sajdah and deal with them. Even though I may not like them, I got to go deal with them, and I got to grow up real quick, and I got to get past all of this stuff. Imagine, how powerful we would be. The beautiful thing is that we have organizations like yours where you say, look, we're going to help. We're going to offer services. We have students who are new to technology, that have the cutting edge technology, that may have more energy. And I think sometimes as Black businesses, we also have to understand that the business models that we learned oftentimes in school and textbooks are not necessarily the business models that will work in the market, because capital markets are always changing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so in you guys' case, you guys are you're studying what's hot, what works, what makes sense. And I think it makes perfect sense to have extended employees, just like you have extended family, extended employees at another organization, because that's what I see other ethnicities doing. They may not have all the people. If they need 50 employees, not all 50 of them may not work for them in their establishment. They're reaching out to other organizations and things like that. And I just think that that's powerful.
I truly, truly do appreciate you, because when we initially started this organization, that was the vision behind it all.
Right.
We said we could use the students, we could use the professors, we could use the alumni, and combine those ideas, combine those mindsets in order to truthfully help our people in the long run. So thank you. Thank you.
What made you name it Historically Black Wall Street?
Ooh. I have been blessed with a mother that truly understands the importance of history. From a very young age, I had been told of stories of Black greatness from Mansa Musa to Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The brothers and sisters that were able to build over 100 businesses, 1,500 people in a business district that spread far beyond just the actual businesses themselves. We're talking homes with grand pianos. I mean, this was these were stories that I mean, as a child, almost seemed like a Wakanda before there was a Black Panther. So we found ourselves in college, truly learning about what they call the largest race riot in American history, but was in truth the largest massacre in American history. We found ourselves listening to survivors and going through their experiences and asking ourselves as young Black men and women, how can we avoid this? How can we avoid this? In truth, we decided that avoidance will get us nowhere. We need to go head on, build, and decide that we will protect our ventures the best way that we know how. And in 2023, you can't burn down our businesses. You can try, but there are so many ways to be successful beyond just brick and mortar.
And being creative and thinking it through. That's beautiful. You mentioned one of my favorite historical figures, Mansa Musa. And I just love the way he moved and what he did and the way he helped to establish those trade routes. And in establishing trade routes and setting up what some people call bazaars, or you might call it a historically Black Wall Street like you, or you might call it, you know, a flea market, or whatever you want to call it, a mall. But in setting up those trade routes and making sure that the people who came to sell and work at those bazaars got fair treatment, they were protected, because that was a big part of working with people like Mansa Musa and setting up, whether you were, whatever you were selling, setting up with them was that they would protect you. There were always pirates and people who would loot and steal. Same thing that happens today. And so Mansa Musa was really big on making sure that the people from all these different cultures that came to work with him were protected. They got fair treatment. There was no niggardliness between the vendors and the business people, and folks worked together. No usury charges and things like that. And so I love him, and I study his model and many like him. And even, you know, and this is, I'm going a sidetrack, but I just have to say this. Even people like Abu Bakr, who then started to travel way before Columbus over here to the Black people that were in what are called the Americas today, doing trade and working and this whole ecosystem. And so I think you're right to explain to our people that not only do we have to unite, pool our resources, stick together, but we have to protect one another from the vultures and the predators that is actually embedded in this capitalistic system that we're participating in. It's based on predatory capitalism. And so we have to work to protect one another by not practicing the same type of business that we're trying to get ourselves away from.
Amen. Couldn't have said that myself.
So my next question for you is, where do you see historically Black Wall Street going in the future? What's next for Black Wall Street?
Well, the campus of Morgan State University just recently unveiled a Northwood shopping center that has undergone massive redevelopment. About 50 years ago, one of my mentors was also a student at Morgan State University. She fought to have, along with about 65 other students, to have that shopping center desegregated. And now we stand in a position of ownership. There are a number of open spots in that a specific shopping center. And my ultimate hope and dream is that Morgan State, among many other historically Black colleges and institutions, will allocate a small space for entrepreneurial development and showcase. We want to continue to grow. We have a cartoon that we have been working on to reach the young people through one of our historically Black Wall Street businesses, WABA TV. We are Black America. We do documentary filmmaking, and we are in the completion stages of a documentary about the most honorable Queen Mother Audley Moore. My mentor has never before seen reels of footage of Queen Mother Moore when she was in Tanzania in 1972 at the All African Women's Conference. So around Juneteenth, we will be looking to put out this particular documentary in a demand for reparations. Our ultimate goal is to continue to grow, continue to work alongside existing and emerging Black business, to continue to build our own ventures out, and hopefully one day have physical locations all across the world, not just in this country.
You mentioned this mall, Northwood Mall. Are you saying that you're working on owning the mall?
Oh, Northwood Shopping Center is now owned by Morgan State University.
Okay.
And they have undergone redevelopment, and they were building on it for about 4 years. And there are about 4 or 5 empty spots left in that mall. And hopefully we will be able to figure out a way. This is unofficial, of course. Figure out a way with the administration to allocate a small space, if not in that Northwood Shopping Center, but somewhere on the campus of Morgan State University, devoted strictly to entrepreneurial development of young people and showcase.
Where is Northwood Mall so that people who may be passing through there can support Morgan State University's mall?
Absolutely. Northwood Shopping Center is off of East Cold Spring Lane in Baltimore, Maryland. And it is on the campus of Morgan State University. As soon as you drive up and you see the Earl G. Graves School of Business, it's overlooking the Northwood Shopping Center, which now has a Chipotle, an IHOP, a tropical smoothie cafe, which is owned by 2 Morgan grads who met and fell in love on the campus. So they're
from Liberia, aren't they?
I'm not sure where they're from.
I think I know.
Liberia, those are people who, went and built. So we have to, it's time. It's time.
That's beautiful. How can we support? What can we do to help you?
Oh man, thank you for asking. What we can do is to share this video, share Sister Sajdah Wendy Muhammad's content. Hopefully someone will see that we provide services that are in need of those services, and we'll reach out, even if it's for a consultation on our website, and we talk about how we can help you grow. If you see anything that you would like to do, had any ideas that, I wanted to create a documentary. We did a cooking show in Brooklyn with Brooklyn One Health, a healthy cooking show about a month ago. So we have access to so many different minds and so many different experiences that I'm sure we'll be able to help anyone out there that would like to support our business through getting one of our services.
Well, I tell you what, I'm working on a television show where the Mind of an Entrepreneur show is going to be going around the country helping Black businesses, and we'll work to tap you guys as we move around. We'll work to bring some businesses to you. So let's stay in touch. Let's have another working session after this and see what we can do to support the efforts that you all are doing on Morgan State campus to uplift and shore up Black businesses in our community.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, good brothers and sisters, for watching. I'm so appreciative to you, Sister Muhammad.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Any last thing you want to say before we let you go?
Oh, please. I'd just like to end with a quote by a woman that was a survivor of the Tulsa race massacre.
Ooh.
And that is simply this: we can never rise higher than our weakest brother. And that is by Sister Mary Parrish. So thank you all again for this opportunity, and let us together reach up and down to ensure that our weakest brothers and sisters can get to where we need to get to in order to grow and thrive.
That's beautiful, Brother Chukwuma. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to have you, and let's stay in touch so that we can keep our links connected, and we have to just keep lifting each other up.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, y'all. Y'all know we keep bringing you all emerging new market leaders. We keep bringing you industry disruptors. Here, this young brother, I met him at the State of the Black World Conference this past weekend, and I was blessed. We literally had an all-day discussion around business and how we can build businesses. And we talked a lot about the statistics that I gave you at the beginning, at the opening of the show, and just broke it down and just kind of sliced and diced it and gave advice and networked. And so it really was, I mean, it's my kind of fun. I'm a little bit of a nerd, but, and so I met Brother Chukwuma there, and he was just very powerful in terms of his presentation of what they're doing on Morgan State campus. And I thought we have to come and share that. So if any of you all, especially in the area of tech support, developing your businesses, if you want to reach out to him, let me put his website back up here. Go to hbwallstreet.com, and there's probably a section there where you can get a consultation. You can certainly do it virtually. So if you're starting your business and you need some things done, instead of going on Fiverr and hiring somebody in another country, instead of going online and filling out the paperwork, see if you can get your brothers and sisters to do it. You need some business cards, reach out to them. You need a website built, reach out to them. Take a look at the prices, and I'm sure they'll give you some examples of other sites that they've built. If you need some marketing materials, you need a logo, you need anything that you may need to begin to promote your business, especially online. I'm certain that you will find talent within those brothers and sisters at Morgan State University at the historically Black Wall Street, hbwallstreet.com site. So utilize them. And if you need work on your brand and your imaging, I'm certain you can find some assistance with these brothers and sisters. So, okay, what do I got to tell you? A couple things I got to let you all know. Have you all been following Spiritual Injection? It's the podcast and really weekly masterclass put on by Brother Abdul, student minister Brother Abdul Hakeem Muhammad, Sister Tara, Sister Savina, out in our London location. If you have not, you need to check it out. Today was powerful. I did a master class last Sunday. We have a big event coming up with Russell Simmons talking about entrepreneurship. That's June 3rd. So go out there, take a look at that. Today's class was amazing. I think next week I'm going to be on Closing the Gap. We got that coming up. There's a number of things happening. I was literally yesterday on Rise Magazine's podcast, and we came up with a name for the Sajdah House window art project. It's going to be called Windows for the Wise, thanks to Sister Asante X. She'll go down in history as creating the name to that. And so working on that, looking for you all to continue to support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. Again, history matters, and it's very important. And I got a statistic I had read. Some of you all missed it. It's from this book published by Reverend Dillon called The Report. And I'm going to give it to you again because, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this on Saturday on the Saturday Morning Coffee Talk. But this particular page 8, and I love this publication because he just has all this colorful information. It's called The Economic Report, State of the Black World. And in here is a statistic, and I'm going to read it again. Disparities in wealth by race and ethnicity. And this particular stat is percentage of population with business ownership. Okay, and we're only talking about businesses with employees. And so he says 2.7% of the white people in the country have businesses with employees. Okay, 3.9% of the Hispanics in the United States have businesses with employees. 0.28%, less than 1%, less than 0.5% of Black people in America have businesses with employees, and 28.3% of Asians have businesses with employees in the United States of America. There's another statistic here that says that the median yearly income for Asians is $102,000. And for Blacks, it is a mere $49,500. This means that Asians earn more than $2 to every dollar that Blacks earn. That's probably them $2 that we gave them for our nails and all that shrimp fried rice we've been eating. And I'm not trying to be demeaning. I just want us to be conscious of how we are building economies. Every immigrant in this country knows that when you get shut out of white society, you come to the Black community to make money, to get rich, to become millionaires and billionaires, while Black people, we can't figure out how to do for self. We can't figure out how to pool our resources. We can't unite. We have to stop this. We have to be intentional about supporting one another. We have to be intentional about shopping with one another. We have to be intentional about doing for self if we're going to close this wealth gap. I'll save the rest of these statistics for our show this weekend. But I just want to implore upon us to be intentional. I say this all the time. If you got to drive an extra exit, do it. You have, as Brother Chukwuma just said, you have some cultures, right, where if it means that they have to go outside of their culture to do business, then they just won't do it. I'm gonna let that sink in. They just won't do it. And I said that probably the best and the worst thing that could have happened to Asians when they immigrated into this country was that they were shut out of mainstream society. So it forced them to rely on themselves, to pool their resources, to unite, to make sure that they're not criticizing one another, to be a force to be reckoned with. And they have now taken over the system that shut them out in the very first place. In a few short decades, what, maybe 5 or 6 decades, they have taken over the system that shut them out, the system that said, no, you can't come over here and open a restaurant, the system that said, no, you can't come over here and open a nail shop, the system that said, no, you can't come over here and sell your stuff, the system that forced them into our urban areas. And we so gracious because we support everybody. We do business with everybody but ourselves. But that same very system, and the sad part about it is we keep shopping and they don't even treat us right all the time. There's been a long history between the Black and the Asian community of mistreatment, substandard services, substandard products. I would venture to say that it's getting better today and that there's a little bit more respect that is happening. But there's been a chronic history of mistreatment. And we have to stop this. Everybody comes into our community to get rich, to get wealthy, to pop off their goods and services while we sitting around here trying to figure out what happened. With 0.28% of us in our community that have businesses with employees. That speaks to a mindset. You see, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have been working to fix in us now for almost 100 years. And so we now have to be intentional. We got to take it upon ourselves. Let's stop waiting on somebody else to do for us what we know we can do for ourselves. Why do we know we can do it? Because if we are the biggest consumers in the country, with our low income, with our median income at $49,000, and the highest or the median Asian income at $102,000, we are probably the largest consumers per person. So you can't tell me we don't have no money. You can't tell me we don't have buying power. You can't tell me that we so broke that we can't build our communities and that we can't build and come together and support. So one of the things that we're working very hard to do is begin to preserve our history, because I think it would help us if we saw our history. Dr. George Fraser is building a beautiful Black legacy museum where he is honoring Black entrepreneurs and Black inventors, people that you don't even know. In Chicago, we have this cultural renaissance happening with the preservation of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House and many other houses that are part of our coalition of Black House Museum. Why is this important? Because you have somebody like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad who built a $100 million empire as an example of what we can do. And he built it in the midst of an economic system, or an economy, I should say, that is worse than what we're sitting in today. We're talking about 20% inflation at that time and just about 20% unemployment. So like and subscribe to the channel. You can go back and check out the manifestation series. I have another series called The Accomplishments of the Muslims. We have the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talk. This is where we give out free game. We charge for services, but we give out free game to help you navigate the world of business. In my opinion and my take on it is that I've paid for this game with my blood, sweat, and tears. So you may as well have it. All right. So we'll see you all soon. Go out there, get your commemorative Elijah coin. Remember, freedom ain't free. And say it again. Freedom ain't free. Nobody else is coming to save us. You see, the Asians ain't going to save us. White people ain't going to save us. Hispanics ain't going to save us. Ain't nobody saving us but us. So let's get up and do something for self, and let's begin to be intentional about our support for one another. All right. Peace and blessings, family. I see y'all in the chat. Praise be to Allah for Brother Juan Carlos. He said preservation matters. You know that's right. Sister Brenda, Sister Aletha, I see y'all in here. Y'all chatting it up. Okay, I see Sister Sandra. Welcome, welcome. And again, rest in peace to our brother, Harry Belafonte. All righty. So I hope y'all know what y'all marching orders are. Get your coin, right? Support. If you can't get a coin, go to Sajdah House Donations or go out on Cash App and get one of these great products that we have. But we're going to finance our way into preserving our history. Peace and blessings, family. Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. Add the Mind of an Entrepreneur show to your Roku TV lineup and catch up on past episodes of all your favorite Mo Today shows.